Welcome to the Drive Time Podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Alfred Barnes.
I'm Parker Brown.
And Parker Brown is officially off the wagon.
Yes, I am drinking again.
And eating.
Probably noticeable by the voice.
Yeah.
We're on a Sunday. We're on a lazy Sunday. And most people go, Parker, why do you sound so drunk on a lazy Sunday? But guess what? I personally have been drinking since about, 11 a.m. Honestly, no. Honestly, probably about 9 a.m.
It feels like you're trying to sell me on a timeshare. Like, I personally have benefited so much once I started binge drinking again.
I'm on a timeshare. I'm on a...
Are you really?
A drinking timeshare.
Yeah. Well, maybe start sharing a little bit more.
So no, I've been off the sauce for about a week.
You mean you've been back on the sauce?
Back on the sauce. Sorry, my apologies.
What was the catalyst of the early?
I went 2 weeks without losing any weight.
Okay.
And I hit 180, and I just plateaued for 2 weeks. And I was eating 400 calories a day of protein.
Yep.
And I went, fuck this.
And you said that horse is looking mighty tempting. I'm getting back on.
And you know what? I think it was correct. And so what I think I'm going to do is I don't think I'm done with the whole dieting thing.
Okay.
What I think it is I'm going to take a couple months off, probably 3 months off, May, June, July.
Okay.
And then close out the year dieting.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
And I think, so I've already gained back 10 pounds.
God damn, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
But I think I still look pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you gotta convince yourself.
But
no, I still look good. And then next thing you know, you're 280.
But I don't look as low as I did at my peak. Do you agree?
What do you mean?
Right now, I don't look as thin as I did at my peak.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, no, you're not supposed to say that. No,
I disagree. You look
opposite.
perfect. You look awesome.
No, but I think I need one more. You know what I mean? I don't think it's right that if I did the whole thing right then.
Right.
My body was done so.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, I went from. So I'll tell you exactly what happened. In 2 weeks, I went from 183.
Gotcha.
To 179.5 in 2 weeks.
Wow, that's progress.
But that's not good for eating 400 calories a day.
Yeah, well, it's
you're supposed to lose way more weight than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you did for a long time.
I did for a long time, but it's supposed to be more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of a crazy thing to have happen.
Well, at least now you're cool again on paper. You be drinking again.
Are you drinking again?
I mean, I had a nip of wine at your apartment, I guess, because you said it would pair nicely with the lasagna.
So for the people that came out, and I want to hear your real opinion on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay? Your real opinion. Because I have certain ideas, too. And so if you just say it was perfect, I know you're lying.
About the lasagna?
About the lasagna, because I know what the person is.
I didn't really...
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
So I went to this thing called the Comics Brunch.
Real quick,
earlier.
though, I just want to say, don't say any of your thoughts on lasagna first.
Right.
Okay,
of course.
Go ahead.
But I will tell you, I don't think it was perfect.
Okay.
And I won't tell you anything more than that. But so earlier today, there's a group of people that throw the Comics Networking Brunch in Fells Point, which I live in.
Conveniently.
They throw it about. I'm not even fucking with you. About less than 0.3 miles away from where I live.
Which is walking distance, especially when you've been doing as much elliptical time as you.
It's technically, I drive. I drive personally because that is a 30-minute walk personally.
Right.
But I don't want to do that. But it is, it might be closer to 0.7 miles, whatever.
Wow.
It's a 30-minute walk. I don't want to walk that far.
Right.
But I went today. It was very good. It was very fun. It's a fun thing to do. I recommend it. Any comics in the Baltimore area, look up. Look up.
Whatever. We get it. All right, continue.
So we had a couple people over afterwards, right?
Right.
Which fucked up us a little bit because it was like, Al, listen.
Oh no! So Parker pitched the idea of us recording a podcast at his apartment, which is what we were supposed to do. But then he pitched it like we would have an audience because I said. We have some ideas for our first guest, and unfortunately for these people, none of these people are it.
We've tried. We've tried for the first guest.
Yeah, we've made attempts.
It didn't go well. But that's the thing about trying is sometimes you fail.
Yeah, big time.
And the thing is, is what we have right now is working great.
Yeah. When Parker's a little more sober,
A little more sober, a little dick a little harder. You know, right now it's completely solved.
Right now
completely.
it's sitting sideways like the Paul Wall song.
Shut the fuck up. Sitting sideways. That's a great song.
It's a great song. What it do?
What it do, baby? It's the Iceman power. Also, Al was like making fun of my dick, but then he took like literally half a minute to recognize that a light turned green. But that's fine. But you should turn left here. Yep, thank you.
I almost ran over a scooter rider.
Yeah, fuck them though. They aren't real people. It doesn't count if you're riding a scooter. I'm not even fucking with you. Like that's true. But let me tell you this, okay? You had the lasagna.
Okay.
So I just to give the listeners a little context, my next
Dinner party.
A dinner party. I say my next dinner party. Let's give me a little more context. Every year I try and throw a dinner party.
Yeah, they know. They listen. We talked about it on the last year this time.
I try and throw a dinner party. Last year everyone was sober because it was sober January.
Right.
Not sober January, dry January. This year I feel like everyone's going to be drinking.
Okay.
And it's going to be a little bit more fun, too.
Could be.
One, because people are drinking. Two, because you're going to come. Jackie's going to come.
Right.
It's going to be, and I think, like one of the things that's cool is that the first one I ever threw was just people from my work. But a guy from my work brought 3 bottles of champagne. A guy from my work bought, a woman from my work bought 3 bottles of Oregon Pinot Noir.
I remember them. Horrible people, but continue.
No, you never met them.
Oh.
But that's kind of part of the thing is like, it was a little bit more about drinking last time, like 2 times before last.
Yeah.
And last, like the actual last time, I feel like a bunch of people were doing dry January.
Yeah, Jackie and I both were for your last one.
And Jackie didn't come either.
Jackie was at your last one.
Was she really?
Yeah. It was the 2 of us, then it was Steve and Caitlin, and then there's other 2 people. And then your one friend.
Richard.
Yeah.
Well, that's my bad. Cut this. Don't
have to
use
cut a lot.
this in the thing. But next time, I thought Jackie didn't come last time.
She was there. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Maybe I'm an idiot then. Okay, fair enough. Well,
So your lasagna.
let's talk about the lasagna.
Yeah.
You came over today, and I made pretty close to what I'd probably be making of the thing.
Okay.
We're getting into slight adjustments here.
Right.
We aren't getting into major adjustments. What are your notes?
So my notes
And
are,
also get over in, like, right now.
structurally, it was a little weak. It caved in on itself, I think. Normally, you think of a lasagna, it's like a nice stack, but it was just kind of a puddle. A flavorful puddle, a tasty puddle, but it was a puddle.
I think maybe you didn't get a good thing because I think...
There was not discernible layers on the piece that I got.
I think I might have possibly given you a layer that didn't have any pasta in it.
Gotcha. So that is a pretty important part of lasagna.
What do you think flavor-wise?
It was pretty good flavor-wise. I think...
Meaty?
Yeah, it was meaty. It was very rich.
Not salt. It was very rich, but I think people made the great point. Not a lot of acid.
Yeah.
I think you could use a little acid.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of doing was having...
Well, I don't know, because it had, like, there was a tomato sauce in it. That's acidic.
Technically, no.
Tomatoes are acidic.
Well, technically, it didn't have any tomato sauce.
Oh, it didn't?
You have a very discerning palate.
Mm-hmm.
Some people told me I should put more tomatoes in it. You have a discerning palate where you could tell I had some tomato paste in it, but it was not full-on tomatoes.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I got some tomato from it, but...
But tomato paste also doesn't generally have the acidity of tomatoes. It has the sweetness and the savoriness.
Right.
But not... And the richness, but not the acidity.
Yeah.
I think you do have a discerning palate, Al Barnes. I think you do. I think you fucking death read that shit. I think you death read that I gave you... Because when I was giving you a piece, I was like... This is kind of like sauce. I don't think there's that much pasta in here. And you death read that there wasn't that much structure. But I also think you kind of figured out that there was some tomato sauce in it. I think there could... This is what I'm thinking.
Well,
okay?
I was also exponentially more sober than everybody else there.
Right.
I wasn't even going to have a sip of wine, but you had paired it, and I was like, well, there's clearly a pairing going on here.
No, that's not what I would pair. I would pair a white wine with the lasagna.
Gotcha. See,
there's just white wine in the bolognese. That's traditional. Traditionally, it's a white wine, so I would put white wine on the table as well. A Sauvignon Blanc.
mm-hmm.
But
Whoa, what's going on here? Damn, dude, they tore down the tin cup or whatever it is.
Dude, I don't care. Well, yesterday, we'll talk about this later, but yesterday there was a marathon. Completely fucked up my entire day because my road was closed off. So imagine this. Imagine you wake up one day, right, and you go to leave your house, and you get to the end of your driveway, and they're like, oh, the road's closed. And you're like, what do you mean? And they're like, the road is closed. And you're like, well, I have to, like, go run errands or whatever. And they're like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think
it can't be that the road is closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that happened to a lot of people when that bridge got hit.
Correct. Okay, but that is like a real thing. Like there was just like a 10K yesterday, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you just can't leave your apartment." And I'm like, "No, that can't be right. Like I can leave my apartment." And they're like, "No, you just can never leave your apartment." And I was like, "When is the 10K over?" They're like, 1 o'clock. I was asking at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Damn, that's brutal.
Like, when's it over? I'm like, they're like 9 o'clock. Turns out that was like incorrect. It was at like 11:30. They stopped. Like they started taking off the restrictions. But
Gotcha.
I'm like, you can't do that. You can't just shut down.
Yeah, that's
like,
a huge
the
inconvenience.
road that my car is on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What if there's an emergency? Parker's trapped.
Well, it turns out that there
was an emergency.
Well, it turns out that there was a way out that I didn't realize at the time. But I asked the cop. I saw there were cops on the end of my road, and I was like, because there's a run, so like cops can like park their cars and like just hang out. I was like, hey, how am I supposed to get out? They're like, you're not. Like you gotta. And there weren't any signs or anything either.
Yeah.
Too, which kind of pissed me off.
That happened to me and Jackie.
Where are you going again? Okay.
Following the directions. Me and Jackie went to this just something in Frederick, and she went to get her car out of the parking garage, and there was a parade going on, and they were like, sorry.
You're looking good, though.
Thank you, Parker.
Have you been doing a diet at all?
Not really, but I'm trying to be a little more conscious, you know?
I like this top that you got on.
Thanks.
I like the color of it a lot.
Yeah.
What is it, like a light green?
God, this dude just waved at me and said, stop. He's got a herd of 48 kids, and he just walked right into traffic.
They have the signal, though, so they're correct.
Yeah, but the dude just swung his hand. Everybody else was driving.
But they were correct that they had the right of way. They did have the right of way. But I like this color of green, though. Can I tell you that?
I appreciate that.
It's very good. It's like a light olive, if I would say.
Okay.
Would you agree that it's a light olive?
I think it seems to be a light olive.
But it also seems with the tightness that it's a good one. You've been working out, though, right?
A little bit.
Like some weights?
Yeah, not as much as I should, but a little bit.
Can I ask you a martial arts question?
Sure.
So I rewatched all of Dragon Ball recently. When I say rewatched, I mostly mean watched. I didn't realize I'd only watched about the first third of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things is the World's Martial Arts Tournament.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think every guy should be entered in the World's Martial Arts Tournament? I kind of think you should be.
You think like every single person every male in the world?
Every male. You said
I like that.
You were starting to say every single person. I was like, every single male in the world.
No, we could. Yeah, there could be a male and a female bracket.
I think you'd do pretty good. You probably go farther than me, right?
You think so?
You practice karate.
Yeah, I'm pretty scrappy.
But you also have done
a little jiu-jitsu.
So I think it depends on what the weight classes exactly would be, right?
Yeah, I had a dream that I was fighting somebody, and I tried to do an arm bar, and it didn't work. And then I got him with the Americana, and I was ecstatic. But they had like shockingly flexible limbs, so I had a really hard time doing it.
There was a guy that I wrestled with that had they were double jointed on their elbows.
Actually, hold on.
So an arm bar wouldn't work on them.
Damn, that's freaky.
And wouldn't that be crazy if you armbarred someone and it just didn't work and they just like turned into you, and then you're like, well, shit, I guess I'm in mount now.
Yeah, no, this is a dream I had last night, actually, because in the dream, I went to the DC Improv, and when I walked in, you were performing on stage.
What?
And you wrapped up your set, and you got a standing O. And then
that's crazy.
I
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Dream State Al.
Yeah, and then mere seconds later, I had somebody in an Americana.
In an Americana?
Mm-hmm.
Like not a Kimura, but the opposite, but
Right.
up top?
Yeah, the up top.
I feel
Kimura.
like an Americana is a very, you're more smart than the other person. That's a you beat a beginner type submission.
Yeah, no, I'll do
But it works.
That was my go-to when I was doing jiu-jitsu. I love the Americana.
Americana was good. I also like the armbar from guard. That always made me feel very jiu-jitsu-y. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it felt very authentic.
But guard is, I feel like guard is one of those positions that really only works when the person can't punch.
Guard, well, here's the thing. I actually disagree but agree with you at the same time. Here's my disagreement.
All right.
I think guard works if you can hold the person's head down.
Right.
I think armbar doesn't work if the other person is allowed to headbutt. I think a headbutt is way more effective than a punch from guard.
If somebody's in your guard, they can just punch you in the dick over and over and over again.
Well, here's the thing.
Or
I
in the
think,
stomach.
Al, honestly, the most effective move you can do from guard, from top position, is a headbutt to the chin.
Yeah.
This is all you have to do. And this is why UFC kind of sucks, but it also is very good at the same time. All you have to do is grab both of their wrists from top position, which is pretty easy. I think you'd also agree grabbing both of their wrists, at least for a second, is doable, right?
Yeah.
And when I say a second, I mean a moment. I don't actually mean like a full second. I mean like 0.3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then what do? You just fucking headbutt them in the chin. They really can't do anything.
Yeah.
And you do that, I mean, maybe 3 or 4 times, and maybe you miss like a couple times, but you hit them a couple times too.
Dude, we should just pull in here. We're passing the convention center, and they're doing the tattoo convention right now.
You also fucked up too, by the way.
Yeah.
The maps is correct, like that. You followed where the maps went. Told you to go.
Right.
But it's way faster if you actually just follow around along that street.
Oh wow.
I should have told you that, but also.
Yeah, look at all the tattooed people.
Look at this
it's a tattoo
fucking
convention.
sun. Why the sun so?
I don't know. It does be getting
everything
bright. Well, tomorrow it's going to be covered up.
Right.
It's the eclipse.
Well, people keep talking about the eclipse. Do you know that the name of the eclipse that NASA has to see
Don't do it.
the eclipse?
Don't do it.
I shouldn't talk about it. You don't think so?
This feels like it's about to be a bad joke.
It's not a bad joke. It's a real conspiracy theory.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't believe in this, but it's a real conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, go.
So I don't believe in this at all. There's a real conspiracy theory. So the like section of NASA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I haven't investigated this at all.
Okay.
So all of this could be wrong, by the way. Let me just tell the viewers. I think me and Al are generally against conspiracy theories, I would say.
Yeah.
So every stage of this could be wrong.
Right.
I haven't investigated any of it. So the thing is that there's a NASA program because launching rockets at the sun is difficult while you're looking into the sun,
right?
And it messes up instruments. There's actually some benefit. You want to get in your left-hand lane, by the way. But there is some benefit to like launching instruments during the eclipse. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so there's something called like the astronomical program of eclipse progression or something like that, right?
Okay.
And that spells APEP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that APEP is some Egyptian god that wanted to destroy the sun.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. This is all, again, haven't fact-checked this at all. No fact-checking done.
Not a lot of fact-checking.
Not a lot of fact-checking. But so the idea is, one of the conspiracy theories that Lauren Boebert has furthered is that that NASA wants to destroy the sun, and they called their program APEP because APEP is an Egyptian god that wants to destroy the sun.
Okay, quick counterpoint. What would be the point of destroying the sun?
Can I give you another counterpoint?
Okay.
How would we destroy? Like, let's say we wanted to destroy the sun.
Yeah.
We had to for survival.
Right.
We couldn't destroy the sun.
No.
What are we gonna do? Nuke it? Oh, you mean what's at the center of the fucking sun?
Yeah.
Nuclear energy? No.
Yeah.
You couldn't do any of
Yeah.
that.
And how are we
so you
supposed
can
to
get all the way in your left-hand lane whenever you feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
too.
How are we going to get anything to the sun? Also.
Right. It would be a nuclear missile.
Yeah, you'd have to get something that could withstand.
But the thing is that the center of the sun is actually hydrogen fusion.
Yeah.
So if we send a hydrogen nuke, a hydrogen bomb, the sun would just be like, tasty, very good.
Yeah.
Love this.
Another.
Another, please.
Yeah, that sun is gluttonous.
It's very glad. How the fuck are we going to destroy the sun? It is a burning ball of the most destructive force we can ever imagine, which is nuclear energy.
When Parker's drunk, he's really fixated on not blowing up the sun.
Shut. How would you even do it? How could you even do it?
I don't know.
How are you going to blow up the sun? All right, we're going to send in a black hole, right, to the sun, right?
We're gonna make a black hole like suiting up and getting in a rocket. My time to shine.
Turns out, because of Hawking radiation, here's a real thing. You want me to actually, let me talk to you about some real fucking physics for a second. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is real science, okay? Let me make this delineation.
You ever get trapped at a bar with somebody who's way too fucked up and just
Exactly! That's what I'm doing right now! Shut the fuck up! Have you ever heard the conspiracy theory that the Large Hadron Collider is going to make a black hole that's going to, like, swallow the entire Earth?
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever heard that?
I have, yes.
Okay. So the thing is, and this is real, this is correct, like, actual physics and science, is that it turns out that the smaller a black hole is, the more radiation it produces. And the radiation it produces drains, like, the mass that it has.
Oh.
So most black holes that get produced actually end up just, like, destroying themselves immediately.
Okay.
That is exactly what would happen with a Large Hadron Collider. Let's say you smashed, like, two protons together and they made a black hole.
Right.
That black hole is so small that it would just immediately radiate its mass away. Right? So the best thing we could do to destroy the sun would probably be to, like, send a black hole its way.
Right.
But it would just immediately radiate its mass away.
Right.
And I think it'd be calculated, like, how much would it need. But the only difference is that a regular black, like the Large Hadron Collider, it doesn't have mass to, like, cherry pick onto, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas the sun has a ton of mass that could drive that, like, black hole, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So if you calculate, like, how much does it need, you know what I mean?
Right, so neither...
It's like 4 times the Earth's mass.
So they gotta battle it out, the black hole versus the sun.
Well, it's just like we could do you need 4 times the Earth's mass? Mm-hmm. We don't have that on Earth. We don't have a quarter of that on Earth, actually.
Unfortunately, the thing about the Earth's mass is it's the Earth's mass.
It's the Earth's mass, yes, exactly. That was a little bit. Let's go back to something else.
Okay.
So the lasagna that we made. Give me some notes. What did you think?
I did. I think it was good. Like I said, I didn't.
It was very rich.
Yeah, it was very rich.
Would you agree that it was rich?
I would.
So let's say you're sitting at a dinner party. You're drinking a glass of red wine.
Right.
Acidic. Voluptuous.
Yeah.
You'd call it.
Yeah.
No, you probably wouldn't call it voluptuous.
It's full-bodied.
A full-bodied glass of red wine. Probably a pretty good thing to eat then, with a glass of very full-bodied white wine.
Yeah, that's why I was
rich.
like I said, I wasn't really trying to drink anything, but I felt like I needed to pair it with something.
So the two notes I got, one of which I agree with, one of which I don't. We'll see which one you agree with. I'm not going to tell you which one.
Okay.
One was it needed more herbs.
Okay.
Italian herbs, meaning oregano, bay leaf, cilantro, parsley.
Right.
Right. The other note that I got was that it needed more cheese.
I disagree with the cheese.
Me too. I disagree with the cheese.
I agree with the herbs. I could have done.
And I agree with the herbs as well. I think we're very much on the same page.
I would have liked it to be a little garlicier.
I also got a garlicier note as well. Do you think a little more garlic would have helped?
Yeah, I think a little more garlic. I think punch up. I think maybe more basil. I don't think it needs more cilantro, if any.
What about I think it could use some more dried oregano.
Okay, I could go more dried oregano. Truthfully, I got that cilantro gene where cilantro tastes like soap to me. So
no more cilantro.
Yeah.
Cilantro isn't an Italian herb. I kind of fucked up saying
I was curious, but I was letting it roll.
But so what do you think? What do you think about so more oregano and basil?
Right.
And more oregano, basil, more garlic.
Yeah.
And then
I think it just needed a little bit more of a freshness.
I also agree with this too. I think people said it needed a lot more acidity, and for me, when people say that,
you think they just watched too many cooking shows and they wanted to say that.
No. What they're thinking of is like lemon, lime, orange.
Right.
For me, I think the acidity that would come. So I made a very traditional lasagna too, which you might not understand.
Okay.
Because you're like so stupid.
Right. No, I get that a lot.
No. I'm obviously kidding. I would never call you so stupid. But But part of that means that I made a meat sauce with a milk sauce.
Okay.
Right? I did a the only two ingredients I did is I did a fucking bolognese, right, which is a meat sauce.
Yeah.
And I also did a fucking bechamel, which is a milk sauce with a little bit of flour and butter.
That sounds like a treat. And it
Right?
was.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
The thing I didn't include is tomatoes. And the only thing about tomatoes is that they're acidic. But I also think that with the level of fat that's in there, it could use a little acid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I think either having a tomato sauce on the side, I don't want to put it inside. But do you agree that having like a tomato sauce or a vodka sauce on the side,
Yeah.
a little heat, a little
okay,
tomato?
so that was the other thing I was going to say. If you put a little more red pepper flakes in there.
I didn't put any in there.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what you got. I like just a sprinkle of heat in my lasagna.
What do you think about it on the side, though? Do you think
Okay.
that like, okay, let's say you
I'd
get
be
served
using
a
it.
piece, you get served a piece of lasagna.
Yep.
And I tell you, listen, this is the traditional lasagna. I didn't want to fuck with it that much, but I do think it could use a little flavor boost. Here's on the side a little thing of spicy tomato sauce. It's a little acidic, a little white winey, and a little spicy. What you put a little or a lot on top?
I
That's
think
the question.
I would definitely. It depends how saucy it is already, because you don't want to over sauce, and sauce is obviously a.
No. Let's say. No, because I was thinking you got a fucked up piece, but
Well, when we get back, I'll have another sliver.
well, I know we're also on borrowed time right now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But I think if I give you the option of pouring a little bit of sauce on top that was spicy and tomatoey, and a little fucking garlicky too, maybe, that you'd put that on top of your lasagna if you had the option.
Big time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I say
I think that's what I gotta do. But I like having the traditional thing as like the base. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
And then I probably do that myself too. Is I put a little tomatoey, garlicky, spicy shit.
All right. Well, this has been drive time. I'll have to, we might just, depending on how long this episode ended up being, we might do a little Perry pair. I don't know. But this has been the Drive Time Podcast. I'm Alfred Barnes.
And I'm Parker Brown. Have a great
Goodbye.
night.